Patriots, the Harris campaign is unraveling faster than a cheap sweater. R Majuski's brilliant social experiment has exposed the gullibility of Kamala's supporters, but that is just the beginning. We've got AI generated videos fooling the left. We've got Eddie Griffin, the famous comedian. He's dropping truth bombs. And even Kamala's own fans are waking up to the failures of the Biden Harris administration. But here is the kicker. While Trump pays cash from his own pocket, the second gentleman and Tim Walz, well, they're stiffing baristas. It's a tale of two Americas, folks. And speaking of stiffing Americans, let's talk about how the government is robbing your future. Our national debt has exploded past $35 trillion. We're borrowing just to pay interest, digging into a deeper hole. Meanwhile, gold has surged past $2,400 an ounce. It's insane. Well, smart money and investors are shifting into what the Constitution deems as real money, gold and silver. So if you have funds in a low interest account or a 401k or an IRA, call my friends at Global Gold Investments. They keep this show running, and they'll keep you running too. The number on the screen is 888-700-4148. Make sure you mention Next News for their 5-star treatment. Tell them Gary Franchi sent them. You also get a 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Visit IRAGoldproof.com. You'll find it linked down below. Remember, if you don't have gold, you don't have wealth. So, R Majusi. I met him at a fundraiser for Sarah Huckabee Sanders at Trump Tower in Chicago. And this guy was running for office. Great guy. We really hit it off. We've been friends ever since. Turns out he was, big fan of the show, even before we met. And he's just a great guy. And he's been under attack every time he runs for office. They come out guns blazing. Donald Trump's endorsed him. He's a genius on social media. He's straight up America first, right? He's the real deal. Well, he decided to run this social experiment. And well, he created these 2 accounts. He created an account on TikTok that pretended to be a Trump supporter becoming a Kamala Harris supporter. And then he made another account of a Kamala Harris supporter becoming a Trump supporter. And they got fooled. Even this guy, Bill Madden, this is what he posted. He says, "This gentleman's courage is awe-inspiring. This former Trump supporter who lives in Alabama." No, Majuski doesn't live in Alabama. Has decided to go against his entire family and vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I have so much respect for people like this. The emotion in his voice makes me well up with tears. Brian, go vertical with this, and you guys just got to see this, because you're watching it with the idea, knowing that this is a joke, this is a social experiment, and everyone fell for it.
I used to be one of Donald Trump's biggest donors, and fuck it, I'm going balls to the walls. Listen to my story, and I hope it helps you. Thank you. So listen, this is not an easy thing for me to do. My name is Charlie, and I'm from down in Alabama, and me and my daddy, we've been big Donald Trump supporters for a number of years, and well, after a series of events, let's just say, I've decided that I'm no longer going to support him. And I just created this TikTok account. Well, first off, if you don't believe me, look at this picture. See, there's my proof. So, I made this TikTok account because all my family's mad at me now. And my daddy died, and so I am my daddy died, so I have the estate, and we're supposed to give him a lot more money, and I'm not going to do it. Not after FEMA and everything that's helped and all the lies. I just got smart. So I wish y'all would follow me, and thank you. And I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell all my friends to do the same thing. And I'm sorry that my family don't feel the same way. It's a shame. Well, I hope y'all will welcome me. Thank you. I used to be one of Donald Trump's biggest.
Oh man. So, I mean, this is genius. And of course, people we're biting it. They were all over this thing. Go horizontal, please. You won't believe what happened. R Majusi ran a social experiment. Kamala Harris supporters got completely duped. 2 TikTok accounts, one Trump to Kamala, one Kamala to Trump. The result, the Trump to Kamala account exploded with 10,000 followers and 250,000 views in a day. Meanwhile, the pro-Trump account, 2 followers and 3 views. It's clear TikTok's algorithm plays favorites, and Kamala supporters, bless their hearts, they fell for it without hesitation. Excuse me. Now, this is his confession video that he just posted today. Let's go vertical, please.
To account. You ever feel like TikTok has a political bias towards you? Well, I did a social experiment, and I think the results will shock you. You know, not a day goes by that I don't hear someone saying TikTok is not fair to Trump supporters, it's biased, the algorithm throttles my messages.
I don't believe you.
So I wanted to put that to bed. I wanted to find out whether it was true or not. So I decided to make up 2 accounts, both characters, and I would give them a backstory. One would be a Trump supporter who turned into someone who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris.
I used to be one of Donald Trump's biggest donors, and fuck it, I'm going balls to the walls.
And the other would be the opposite. A former Kamala Harris supporter who has recently transitioned to supporting Donald Trump.
I'm a former Kamala Harris supporter, and I've decided as of today that I'm just gonna make America great again. And
the backstories were very similar. I said that they had an event in their life that had caused them to reflect, and they were tired of being lied to, and so they were going against the will of their friends and family and taking a risk in voting for this new candidate.
I made this TikTok account because all my family's mad at me now. It's been very crazy over the past few days. I said it on my birthday and people got upset.
Now what happened? Well, the account who projected that they were a former Trump supporter now supporting Kamala Harris gained over 10,000 followers in one day. One day.
You know?
Now, on the other hand, the Trump supporting account, who was a former Kamala Harris supporter, gained 2 followers in one day and had 3 views on their video.
You can do it, baby. I love you so much.
Quite the opposite, the Kamala Harris supporter, the newly transitioned Kamala Harris supporter, their first video, nearly 250,000 views in that period. Now, I don't know if this is irrefutable proof, but here's what I did learn. Republicans just follow certain people, and we tend to get bound up in what I would perceive as fandom. Democrats, on the other hand, and listen, this is shocking to me, are very kind, very welcoming, and very passionate. That might sound odd to you. I was a little shocked, to be quite honest. And this experiment went a little bit deeper for me. And I will tell you that changed my mind on a couple of things. Not who I'm voting for, by any means, but I've changed my perspective on the folks that are voting for Kamala Harris, that are ride or die Kamala Harris Tim Walz supporters. They had no idea who this character was, and they fell in for his story, and they reached out with nothing but support, and I found that to be pretty heartwarming. So I don't know, be it what it may, I do think TikTok has a bias built into their algorithm. that does push partisan narratives, and I think it's unfortunate. That's all I have to say, and whatever, it's a free country. If I piss you off, too bad.
So, that's the story. Would anybody like a pen? Would anybody like a pen?
Oh, man. JR just totally killed it with that. And, you know, they all fell for it. And especially this poor lady here. Here she is on X. Her name is Arlene Unfiltered. Now, this is her follow-up video. I wish I saw her I wish I saved her original video, because listen, like, she basically recorded herself watching the original transition video, and she was like beside herself, like, oh my goodness, like, I've never seen this before, you know, and now she's reacting to it and how she was so duped. Let's go let's go vertical, Bride.
And okay, so the big deep faker has been exposed. So a video was circulating on the internet a couple of days ago, and I shared that video with you in one of my videos from this guy who was allegedly Charlie Bishop. And it's a complete deep fake. It's actually quite impressive how authentic this video was. And I think a number of you questioned whether or not it was a deep fake right from the start. And when I first saw people saying that that's like AI, I started searching for the guy. And other people started searching, and everyone was having a hard time figuring out, okay, is this real or not? And the very interesting thing about this is that in Alabama, one of the biggest donors to Donald Trump's campaign is a guy named George Bishop, who owns something called Geo Southern Energy. The guy's a billionaire, and he has children, but there wasn't any evidence of a child named Charlie. But that doesn't mean there isn't a Charlie, because this guy, George Bishop, has been very, very quiet about his family. So you take a story like that, you create a fake child called Charlie, and you give him an Alabama accent, and you infuse this deep fake with all of this emotion. It was really impressive, actually. Like, the message was effective, and it caught a lot of us out in that this video was authentic. So here we've got this deep fake out there. And the whole point of the video was that he was a hardcore Republican, he was a big donor to Donald Trump, and he's going to vote for Kamala Harris. Now, someone suggested to me that maybe the reason that this MAGA Trumper, as it has been discovered, who is the author of this deep fake, that person's motivation for doing this was to suggest to Democrats, oh, you've got this in the bag because these Republicans are voting for Kamala Harris, therefore you don't really need to vote. Well, the interesting thing is the level of anxiety among Democrats right now is what is going to turn out that vote. There is not a single Democrat in this country right now, and many independents, who are going to sit home and not vote in this particular election. It's not even possible. You can't have anxiety levels this high and people not vote.
Anyway, yeah. Of course they have anxiety levels. I mean, did you watch the 60 Minutes interview? Yeah, so JR really pulled a fast one with this. And I want to get to Eddie Griffin in a moment and what happened at that coffee shop. But this guy ran on for 10 minutes reacting to JR's video. His TikTok name is Dinner Pancakes. Apparently he quit his job to study disinformation on TikTok full time. Yeah. Meanwhile, JR exposed the platform's bias in just days with a simple experiment. But instead of facing reality, this guy spent 10 minutes rambling about white supremacy, TikTok bias, and some nonsense about creative energy. Perhaps if he focused on real work instead of blaming imaginary boogeymen, he'd actually make a difference. If you want to waste 9 minutes and 51 seconds of your life, watch this madness unfold and see for yourself. I mean, this guy is, it's like a methodical language. I mean, like, just listen. We're only going to listen to a minute because I don't want to waste your time. But you just got to hear how the words just like they drip from their mouths. Like they're so smart.
Well, the truth is, only JR knows what he was actually trying to do. He did post some videos. JR, if you're seeing this, hello. He did post some videos on his main account where he talked about how this was a type of social experiment to collect some data about partisan division on TikTok. JR, if you are watching this, I study disinformation specifically on TikTok now full time since I quit my job last week just to do it full time.
Yeah, who's paying you, dude? Who's paying you? Kamala?
Better methods that you can collect more actionable intelligence than the way that you went about doing it. And there's also better ways of creating those kinds of social experiments that are actually really cheap, less than $100, and you'll get much more valuable data about the partisan nature of the engagement, like modality that TikTok employs when it's trying to get content in front of people, very specific types of content in front of people. I don't know what's going on. I can't read JR's mind, but what I can tell you is that he now has actionable evidence of what I would consider an incredible opportunity.
Wait, listen.
Young men in this country are struggling for something to fill the void inside their hearts. That void comes from a lot of places. There's a lot of overlapping characteristics of pain. One of them is generational white supremacy, literally baked into our blood. And the other one is heteronormative patriarchy. Of course,
I'm going to cut it right there. I'm going to cut it right there. Okay. Okay.
To fill the void inside their hearts. That void comes from a lot of places. There's a lot of overlapping characteristics of pain. One of them is generational white supremacy. Literally
generational, he says.
Our blood. And the other one is heteronormative patriarchy.
I bet his wife's boyfriend would agree. Yeah. So if you guys want to troll him, he's on Dinner Pancakes on TikTok. Okay, so I know you guys want to get to Eddie Griffin because I thought what he said was hilarious. And in fact, I played this for Angie earlier and she was laughing so hard. It was so funny. I'll save Eddie Griffin. That'll be the crescendo of this segment here. So let's jump back here to horizontal. Doug and Tampon Tim walk away from the counter without paying, leaving Tim's daughter to inform the cashier that the staffer would soon be up with a credit card. Now, you know what would happen? I'm going to tell you what would happen. If Donald Trump was there getting a cup of coffee, he would have paid with cash and he would have dropped a fat tip. And he would have made sure he would have given out coffees to everyone, even in the press corps. He would have been mobbed by people. You notice there's nobody there. This place is empty because nobody cares about these puppets. Okay? But instead, they leave the daughter there to be uncomfortable with the barista. She even says it. Listen, she goes, I feel so exposed right now. Watch this.
I think it's like here, you guys go through. I'll wait for your tea. All right, you get the tea? Do you want to take this too? Yep, I got it. I'll wait for your tea. I feel exposed right now. Thank you so much. And someone will be up here today. It's okay. Right? No, like he's coming. Thank you so much. Can I take a photo? Okay.
Look at that. They left the daughter there. Don't worry, someone will come back and pay for it. And the barista's like, don't worry about it. Really, don't worry about it. You know, they don't care. They're just going to give the coffee away. But like I said, if Trump was there, it would have been cash. He would have been buying everyone coffee. This place is empty. Nobody cares about these people. So, you know, JR had this great experiment, and it's really great here. This is wonderful, and I'm guessing this on this specific post, it's only got 1,400 views. Let's see what this one's got 1.5 million views. Okay, this is Eddie Griffin exposing. Well, you'll see.
Arlene Harris. Arlene Harris. Arlene Harris. Look at it. This woman want to play black so bad, she went and erased her grandmama and replaced her grandmama.
As you can see there, it says that she died in July of 1960. And so this is a huge scandal.
And her fake grandmama is this black woman who died 4 years before she was born. But in her book, she got a picture standing next to this dead woman with a smile on her face. I wonder how that happened.
Grandma Beryl died in 1960, 4 years before Kamala Harris was born.
And you gonna deny your real grandmama being up, showing up at your inauguration if you happen to get elected, which ain't gonna happen. Everybody I talk to don't like it. Ain't nobody gonna vote for you. Here's your choices, America. The liar or the crook. I think I might be going with the crook, goddammit. Yeah, the crook. He's got a lot of in him, y'all. He got 3 baby mamas, 43 felony cases and counting. Selling high-top tennis shoes just like Michael Jordan. Got shot just like Tupac. The motherfucker gonna drop an album next. We'll be right back. So I don't know what the you thinking of voting for Kamala. She's a puppet, y'all. Has 0 experience, no her on the world stage. You motherfucker crazy. Think that gonna be in charge? You know what's gonna be in charge? The government that just put a hurricane and killed American citizens. And now the Fed's saying there's no money left to respond to hurricanes. But there's plenty of money to send weapons and bombs and more money over to fucking Ukraine and Taiwan and everywhere goddamn else. All you federal motherfuckers. Charity starts at home.
There's some breaking news from Eddie Griffin. God bless him, man. It's videos like that they're terrified of. Oh, he's spreading misinformation about the hurricane and the relief. Yeah. But no, the social experiment was a success. R Majusi exposed the bias and really embarrassed a lot of Democrats in the process. So from J.R. Majuski's TikTok revelation to the AI-generated supporters, from Eddie Griffin's takedown to Kamala's own team's coffee shop debacle, Kamala's campaign is a masterclass on how not to run for president. Yeah, they're going to write books about this. But here's the question that keeps me up at night. Is this just campaign incompetence or a reflection of how they would run our country? Are we seeing the death of authenticity in politics? Sound off in the comments, because your voice could be the wake-up call that America needs.